Payal, good afternoon to you. I don't expect you to say hello now. We have, it's already 3:04. I will request after this, well, I'll put it like this to you. It's only 2 minutes more. I don't want to say too much about Timbuktu itself. I think Vijay will speak about Timbuktu. As far as I'm concerned, you know, Payal shared an insight which is so obviously under our nose and somehow it had missed us. That on the 20th of September 2018, Dr. Jain passes away. He decided to pass away, as we all know. He decided to, you know, to release his body from the soul. But what is also uncanny is that this World Green Building Week, which officially ends, let us say, you know, today being Saturday, begins also on the 20th of September. It is as though Dr. Jain told somebody, I say, if I'm going to pass away, some remnant of mine should remain in this week and it should be celebrated the world over and not just in India. There are 78 countries which are celebrating today, this week from Monday to Friday actually, but this happens to be this Saturday, this World Green Building Week. And the World Green Building Council also is part of this, of course, and the Indian Green Building Council is part of this larger network and so on. Payal Jain, can I request you to speak just a bit on maybe the vision of Prem Jain Trust and so on in the context, especially the context of these two distinguished speakers who are with us, Ganguly and Usha Kinney, who is our speaker for the next time. Payal.
Thank you, Doctor. Sorry, as usual, I'm in a little bit of a noisy space, but thank you for that. And thank you for connecting the World Green Building Week to my father. Thank you. That was very beautifiji done. Vijayji, of course, has been a part of the trust work from the first time when we started talking about it at the Congress way back in 2018. So I want to thank him profusely for being here. Jamniji, again, is family, has always been. Mr. Ganguly, thank you very much. I'm really excited about this session today, Doctor. As usual, I think we all really look forward to the distinguished lecture series. So thank you very much for setting the context. And Mr. Somani, Uncle, thank you for being here. You have been the biggest supporter of the trust from day one, and we count greatly on your strength and your presence. So thank you very much for being here. I'll leave it at that, Doctor. You are better equipped for this. Thank you very much for asking me to speak.
Thank you. Gracious of you for having said that. It shows to the rest of you, it shows, although, you know, you see, the way she addresses Somani Saab clearly shows that he is family. He's been known to the family for 30 years to Dr. Jain. So I'm really happy, R.K. Somani Saab, that you're here today. Your distinguished presence really makes it important for us. This is a recording that will be going on to the website, and therefore many more people watch it on the YouTube later. Vijaya Sai Meka. Over to you now. I request you to see how you will take this session, hold the floor, and then introduce CK Bablu Ganguly and take the session forward. You are the host chairperson for this session, and it's your time. Thank you, Vijay. Are you on the network, Vijay Sai? Vijay? I think we lost him somewhere. Vijay? Oh, okay. Looks like we have lost him. He's going to possibly come back. We just wait a minute. While he comes back, Yatin, I request you to call him if possible to see if he will return. Must be a network challenge for him. Yatin? Yeah. Yatin, can you, if you just say hello, then I will talk a little bit.
I think he is disconnected, sir.
So he will be coming back. Just give him a call if that's possible. Yeah. Meantime, to the rest of you, let me tell you of a little bit about, you know, about Timbuktu and how this, you know, this, call it if you like, a federation of farmers. I don't want to use the word cooperative. I'm a little cautious because, you know, Bablu is here and he's the architect of this entire process over the last nearly 30 years now. What he did is this, you know, these are models that India needs. It's essentially, he brought in efficiency of crop patterns. He ensured that soil is treated right. He ensured that balances are maintained between this mindless use of fertilizers and of pesticides. And he ensured that income generating capacities are enhanced for farmers at large in the larger watershed that he's working in. And this is not a very easy watershed that he works in. I think he chose to go there in the late 80s or early 90s. And this is a place which receives no more than about 550, 600 mm rainfall. Traditionally, it's been a drought-prone district. This is slightly south of Andhra, of Anantapur, and shall we say, northeast of Bangalore, about 3.5, 4 hours from here. Now, what is important, therefore, is that he created a model, like Vijay will explain that better. I'm waiting for him to come in, and there he is. Vijay, are you here? Yes.
Yeah, I just joined. There is a problem.
Now you're here. Okay, you're coming in on your mobile. I was trying to see that I fill in time and do what you should be doing about Bablu Ganguly. So let me complete that sentence. So here is a model, like I was telling Vijay some 2 weeks ago when he and I were discussing, which I think needs to be replicated, not scaled, replicated in a very, very large way across many districts which are rain-fed on irrigation. Only 15% of our country's cultivable areas actually receive river-fed irrigation. We don't do anything about rain-fed irrigation. And here is one man who managed to change some parts of those destinies of farmers. Vijaya Sai Meka, please take over and introduce him and take the session forward. Over to you.
Yeah. Good evening, all. So, I wish to thank you, Prem Jain Memorial Trust, PJMT, and my mentor like Hariharan, for giving us IGBC Amravathi chapter this opportunity to present Mr. C.K. Ganguly, popularly called as Bablu, farmer, social activist, and social entrepreneur, and Changemaker. So before actually we go into details about Ganguly, Dr. Prem Jain, our beloved Green Crusader, whom actually we always called, gave us actually this direction and give us all the required courage and energy for taking the green building movement to the stage today in India. So I feel fortunate actually to work with him for about close to 9 years, because wherever he is there, irrespective of his age, he will actually pass on his energy to all the people there. So he gives us so much encouragement, support whenever it is needed. As IGBC chapter chairman, he is always there actually whenever we ask for his support or help. And he will always encourage the team for any even smallest achievement. He is always actually personally call and compliment all the team members. So he is a great leader and we miss him a lot since the last 3 years. We are glad actually to be part of this trust activities. And when Hariharan called and said, actually, you have to present a speaker next time for Amravathi chapter. So in fact, we are thrilled because we got an opportunity like this from the our beloved Prem Jain Trust to actually quote a few incidents where actually we personally interacted with Prem Jain when the Amravathi chapter was launched. Because of his health problem, he was not able to join us. There is a SPA school in Vijayawada. There is School of Planning and Architecture school in Vijayawada. For Jain's SPA is like NDA for military academy. So he always, whenever there is a chance, he wished to interact with the students from SPA. So when we told him SPA students want to actually meet you personally, he came all the way to Vijayawada and spent about, I think, 12 hours in spite of his age. From morning 9 o'clock, he spent with them up to night, I think about up to 9 o'clock. After the session in SPA, he personally interacted IGBC Amravathi chapter students. gave all the encouragement and support like a father for all the students. We still actually cherish the moments we spent with him during his tour to Vijayawada, and also in Goa, actually, when we have our EC meeting. So he gave a lot of encouragement and support. He is there everywhere. All of us actually wish to listen to him. Every time when we listen to him, we will get some additional energy and support from him. Thanks once again, Payalji and Hariharan. So come back to CC Ganguly. He is from Andhra Pradesh, working in Chittoor district. He is a co-founder, former and resident of Timbuktu. I wish to actually ask him to explain what is the name stand for Timbuktu, a 32-acre agroforest habitat and intentional community doing organic agriculture using renewable energy and living sustainably. He is also co-founder and chairperson of the Timbuktu Collective, a grassroots NGO which implements thematic programs including but not limited to organic agriculture while working towards the sustainable development of the resource poor Anantapur district. See, most of us actually will be speaking about the sustainable activities initiatives. He is the one who personally there and taking this movement forward, giving the farmers actually the much needed support in the field. He is also promoter and mentor of Dharani Farming and Marketing Cooperative Limited, a leading farmer-owned and managed business enterprise in South India, which procures, processes, and markets organic produce under the brand name Timbuktu Organic. Dharani has a membership of 2,042 certified smallholder farmers, huge number, who cultivate traditional nutrient-rich millet crops, oil seeds, and pulses across 10,568 acres. Unbelievable, Ganguly. We are very eager actually to listen the success story and the struggle. I think maybe you went on setting up all this since the last maybe about 20 years. He's also co-founder, executive trustee of Timbuktu Kutumbam Foundation with a 100-acre farm dedicated to eco-restoration, organic farming, and training. He's also co-founder of Director of School of Regenerative Agriculture that offers a 2-year experimental learning certificate courses to young people of this area in regenerative agriculture. Over to you, Mr. Ganguly.
Thank you for that. Bablu Ganguly, before you speak, I must acknowledge the presence of people like Ramani Shankar Narayanan. You'll see him on the participant list. He's been working, he's now, if you know Joe Meredith and Gram Vikas, he's been staying there around those parts of Ganjam district in Odisha. He has been working on oil seeds and such things. At the end of your presentation, maybe we'll ask him for some of his own informed and discerning insights on what you will be presenting. Over to you now.
Thank you. Thank you very much for all your kind words and expressions. I don't know if I am worthy of all that, but we've been working for some time now. I was born and brought up in Bombay and then in Bangalore. And for the last 40 odd years, I've been living in the villages here, working with the people. So I'm going to share my screen with you, a slideshow. It may be a little long. I'll try to make it as short as possible. And then we can have a question answer session if that is okay with you.
Yes, please.
Shall I start then?
Yes, please.
Okay. Okay. So you can see the slideshow?
Absolutely. No problem. Please.
Right. So now you can see where we are located. This is just north of Bangalore. And it's one of the most drought-affected areas in the country, very impoverished. But at one time, it was very famous. And it was the land of precious stones, part of Vijayanagar kingdom and all that. But right now, the area that we work in has an average rainfall of about 350 millimeters per year. So that's the kind of landscape in Anantapur district. As you can see, that there is almost no vegetation on the hills. You can imagine that in 1947, there was 11% forest area in this area. Today, we have around 1%, or a little less than 1%. So the loss of forest and along with that, the loss of soil has been phenomenal. This is this piece of land that we bought 30 years ago. My partner and another friend of ours together, we bought this 32 acres of land surrounded by hills, which is supposed to be reserve forest. But nothing grew on that those hills, and nothing grew on the land. You can see there are some bushes here. This is an old photograph from 1992. The idea basically was to try and heal and regenerate this land and create an agroforest habitat. And this was by 1995, things started coming back. We had started a small little school for children, dropout children and all that kind of stuff. And this is what has happened after a few years. So from 21 species in 1990 to about 400 species now is quite a phenomenal growth just by protecting this piece of land. This is actually quite special, and this is our really important piece of work. So the story then of the Timbuktu Collective, which is the organization that came out of this Timbuktu, the land, is known as Timbuktu Collective. So we registered that in 1990, end of 1990, 91, we began to work in Timbuktu and some of the villages around. 10 villages we took up in 1992. And then by 21, we are now working in 187 villages with about 26,000 families and have promoted 10 cooperative societies in this area. This, you don't have to, I don't have to read through this whole thing, but basically we work on 6 thematic areas, and then we have introduced the whole idea of business enterprises that are owned by people who produce the things. So these producer-owned cooperatives and business enterprises is the strategy that we have been using in taking up livelihood activities in this area. So basically, we work with farmers, we work with children, we work with women, we work with people with disabilities. And every one of these has a cooperative that works with them. Okay. So I'll just tell you briefly about Chiguru, which is our work with children. It's basically on alternative education and advocacy. Can you see my slides? Hello?
I can hear you, audio and video, everything is clear.
Good. So the first thing I'll tell you about is the work with children, which is an alternative education and advocacy for ecological rights of children and youth. This we initiated in 92, 93, basically because our kids didn't have a place to go to for school. There was too much violence in the village schools, and The teaching was not okay, so we decided, let's start a school that can become a model for how schools can be, especially for dropout children, because our children were also dropout children. So we started in 92, 93, and then we started working with children in the villages, with youth. We ran 2 schools for almost 25 years, up to class 10, one residential and one non-residential. And then as the government started building nice schools here, we decided that we will work only with primary school children, and we have a small school for primary school children. But we work largely with young people and children across the villages in this area. And we have set up these children's resource centers. They are basically libraries and play libraries that are there all in many of the villages that children can use. These are basically children's spaces. They own those spaces, the youth and the children. So they can come there, they can play, they can use all the resources that are there. And we teach them about ecology, about how to put off fires in the wastelands, in the grasslands, because ours is basically a grassland area. This is a very big grassland area. And of course, a lot of theater, a lot of music, and dance, drama, and fun. Our next very important piece of work is the same regeneration work that we started in Timbuktu itself. We decided to take this to the villages, and then we created a community-managed bioreserve, kind of trying to restore the ecology of that area. So if you can see this kind of map, this is about 10,000 hectares of wasteland. In this, what you see marked in red here is about 7,000 acres of protected area that now we are protecting with villages, about 9 villages in this area. And this is the main watershed to this tank, and then 7 more tanks underneath. This is what's called cascading tanks. So we've been trying to revive those tanks and then trying to look after this piece of land. So that's an old photograph from 95, 96 of the place, which has been termed Kalpavalli. And in Kalpavalli, you can see the trees were beginning to come back by 95, 96. All the grasses were coming back. And that is the same place in 2014. And you can see, it is really blossoming and coming to life. And this is another shot of that area. So you can see the hills in the distance, how bare and, unprotected they are, whereas these hills are much better. So the birds have come back in huge numbers, over 100 varieties of birds are there. The Indian grey wolf has come back, which is really phenomenal because this is a dying population. All over the country, there may be about 3,500 of these animals left. In the Karnataka biosphere, we are from the Karnataka biosphere, there's about 555 left. So they have started denning in this place, which is a very important development, and they are being protected. Of course, the black buck is there, which is our animal from Andhra Pradesh. And this is also denning here. It's really a fantastic opportunity to be able to see these fellows. But like I said, that this is also the watershed to the tanks below. These are huge tanks that were built maybe about 600 years ago, 500-600 years ago, and they can be up to 1,000 acres in size. This tank that you are looking at is about 450 years in size and has 100 acres of land. This was built in 1400 and something, I can't remember, excuse me. And you can see that these tanks, like you can see here, is very silted up. So what we started doing was we started desilting these tanks and tried to create a model of reviving these tanks in our place. You know, Anantapur district has one of the finest rainwater harvesting structures in the country, maybe in the world. You know, we have over 300 of these large ones in Anantapur district and over 4,000 of the smaller ones. So we decided to desilt this and then present it to the government and ask them to, you know, take it up, because we can't afford to, there's no way we can raise the money to be able to desilt such a thing. It's a government thing. So you can see this is the tank, and this is all the land below it. It goes 600 acres below, and this is the village called Mushtikovila here. The next, I'll tell you about our work with women. And this is really our flagship program. This is an alternative banking program that we started with women sometime in 92, 93. The whole idea being that women should become independent and they should be part of the financial system in which they are excluded from. So the work started in 92 in about 10 villages. In 98, we registered the first cooperative. And in 1999, the second one, and 2001, third one, and then 2011, the fourth one. And finally, we federated the whole thing in 2012. And these all have these names: Adi Shakti, Ananta Shakti, Mahila Shakti, Durga Shakti, and then Mahila Shakti, Mahashakti. So these were all registered under the MAX Act, which is a very special act in Andhra Pradesh. And they now have a total membership of, no, I'm sorry, this is dated. They have more than 25,000 members from 185 villages. And each one of the cooperatives have their own structures which they have built, and their total capital base is about 35 crores. So basically, they save money. They save money, each member saves money, anywhere up to 100 rupees to 500 rupees a month. And they started with 10 rupees 25 years ago. And today they are able to save 100 to 100, 200, 500 rupees. And then from the savings, they give loans to their members. So this is also a business enterprise, but it's a bank for the members. It's not for anybody else. It's not for outside. No money comes in from the outside and no money goes outside from here. So the total member savings is over 30 crores. And all these thrift cooperatives are financially completely independent and self-sustaining. They pay 6% compounding interest on saving, and they give out loans at 12% diminishing rate of interest, which is almost not seen anywhere else in the country. It's a very fantastic model, which even the RBI has come and researched on. From this, we then had a group of young women who wanted to learn how to weave. This being one of our oldest crafts in India, and possibly the second largest number of people working in this industry. And so we started a training program for young women in handloom, especially in khadi woven cloth. It started as a small initiative for women, and now it owns 2 production facilities, 9 looms, a dyeing and warping unit. The speciality of this place is that every except from the yarn to the final product, everything is done in one place. And that's the specialty of this thing. It's completely natural dyes, it's total handloom, and it is also hand spun yarn. So, which I've already told you, there are only natural dyes which they work with. They have over 16 products, and the brand name is Timbuktu Weaves, and they have various different products that they have brought out. This girl in the red, as you can see, is my daughter, the one who's standing, and the one in blue sitting. And she has been helping us design all the fabric, etc., from the outside. So this is the group of women, and the man in the center is the only silk weaver who agreed to come and train these young women who were not from the weaving caste. They are from all different religions and castes, and he was the only one who said that, okay, I will train them. And he's the one who trained all these young people. So they have beautiful products. And in 2021, the total sales they had was about 7.6 lakhs. Our work with disabled people is also very credible and very nice. Most of our work is on rehabilitation and therapy for young children and also for adults. And here too, we have formed a cooperative of people with disabilities with over 1,600 members. Home-based rehabilitation, as I told you, is a big thing for this cooperative. And most of the workers of the cooperative are themselves people with disabilities. We have started early intervention centers in quite a few of the villages here, where children with disabilities and their parents or caregivers can come and spend the whole day, and there is also treatment given there. But what is very nice is that they have also started making soap. They make really nice soap, completely made from natural products and use of 5 different oils that are produced locally, and they're all natural oils without any chemicals. And this again is being sold outside in the market, and it's quite a good response. They make soaps, they make dish wash, they make hair oils and other products. The total revenue was 6.1 lakhs. Now, Dharni is our star program. It's not the flagship, but it is the star program. And this is our work with farmers on organic. And so this Dharni is again farming and marketing cooperative, and it's owned by about 2,000 odd members from 63 villages. Women members, male members, and the whole idea was to improve soil health and region being the theme of our work with these farmers. While the farmers own this about 12,000 acres of land, under cultivation, we average about 6,000 to 7,000 acres every year because of the rain and paucity of water. So in 2021, we had about 7,500 acres growing millets, pulses, peanuts, rice, all certified organic by PGS Organic Council. So there's a lot of institution building here. There are sanghas formed in the villages, and there are leaders meetings, and there's farmer field schools that are conducted in the village where, farmers actually see and understand the pests and all that kind of stuff. There's a lot of training that is involved in doing organic, biodynamic farming and the design of permaculture. So we've been doing this for quite a few years, and we have some really, really well-trained farmers who have been doing fantastic work. So we also reintroduced the indigenous cattle breed Hariharan in this area, which possibly is one of the largest transition movements of animals in recent history. Almost 2,000 pairs of these Hariharan animals we imported from Karnataka because we had lost this breed, which is originally from here. We had lost this breed and we have brought them back and helped the farmers use this because, you know, native variety of cattle is extremely important in organic farming. And we have helped procure seeds because we had lost, you know, the millet seeds and many of the pulses. So we've got those things back in production. Of course, this is a groundnut growing area. So we have, you know, wonderful groundnuts here. And we have the board members and this person that you see on the right, your left, is Mary Vattamatam, who's my partner and who is presently the executive director of the Timbuktu Collective. And this lady here is the president in pink sari, is the president of Dharni Farmers Cooperative. So they own a processing center and their total paid up share capital is about 80 lakhs. And they have fixed assets of about 80 lakhs also. They have warehouses. They have 2 warehouses outside and in the processing unit itself. And they sell their product as Timbuktu Organic. It's quite a well-known product in the South, especially. And they sell 95 different types of millets, pulses, grams, oils, and those kind of products. So for 2021, their revenue was about 4.5 crores. So it is sold through retail stores, mainly in the towns, but in the Andhra Pradesh, we have gone to the Mufassil towns and the response is phenomenal. The organic market is growing big in India. People are understanding that we need to have good food. But the most important part of this whole thing is that we have, this is the how do you say, the USP of this whole program is that the farmers must earn more money. I mean, that is the whole idea behind this work. And so for every 100 rupees that the customer pays, you can see if a packet of Kora rice, a foxtail millet rice is 100 rupees, the farmer actually gets 52 rupees back from that 100 rupees. This is a record of sorts. I mean, the only other cooperative that in this country is able to pay back this much amount to the farmers is Amul. And that's a single product cooperative and with huge amount of subsidies. So, which I hope we will be able to keep going. This is an extremely important USP of the Dharni Farmers Cooperative. And these are all the details. You know, it's a farmer-owned cooperative. Its revenues are now going into 5 crores. It has over 60 PGS organic certified products, sells through about 400 retailers across the south of the country. It's a leading producer in organic cold-pressed oil and has about 900 tons of storage and packaging space. We also work with honey gatherers. And the most important thing is that we gather the honey of Apis florea, which is a very special bee. And it's a very small bee, and the amount of honey it gives in each of its honeycombs is about maybe 300 to 400 grams. So you really need to collect a lot of honey when you want to sell that. And then there's the Apis dorsata, which is the giant honeybee. So we also get honey from these bees. These are some of the people who are members. They are the honey gatherers from the forest, and they go into the bush forest and collect honey. and 67 members sold 32 tons of Floria and Dorsetta honey to the Dharni Farmers Cooperative since 2015. This is a photograph of the Floria honey. It's really very tasty, and all of you should buy this honey. It's really, really good for health. It's the main honey that's used in Ayurveda, and it's only available, I think, in 2 places in India. Now we go to Gramsri, which is our work with landless agricultural laborers. And here we have been working with them on rearing of small animals, ruminants, goat and sheep. This is a very good thing because they don't have any other form of earning. And this cooperative was started in 2010. And today their capital base is about 2 crores. It's about 900 members with about 10,000 sheep who are part of this whole thing. So here again, institution building is one of the most important things, to have very strong sanghas and to have a very robust system of money gathering and money loan giving. So the cooperative helps them to procure small ruminants. It helps them to market their animals. And then the most important thing in this is that all these animals are grown without chemicals. So the meat that is sold from this is all non-chemical. Ethno-veterinary means medicines that are made from grasses and roots and things like that. So this is a very important thing, and we have trained over 500 people in ethno-veterinary practices trying to stop the use of chemicals on animals. So it's quite a successful program and is doing well and is totally independent on its own. They had started a small mutton shop to try and test it out in 2018-19, and now they have started the mutton pickle, which is another experiment that they have started. And lastly, we have, of course, the shop. We do all the business through the retail shops across South India, but we ourselves decided that we must have a shop which has all the products that is produced by the different cooperatives and production units. And the shop is on the highway, which has been doing pretty well, I must say. The response is very nice. And in 2 years, it has been able to do about 250 crores of business. So the total consolidated net worth of all these partner cooperatives today stands at about, not today, this is as of March earlier this year, is 43 crores from all the cooperatives. And this is our last piece of work that we started 2 years ago. This is the School of Regenerative Agriculture that we started for children of the farmers that we have been working with, because most young people want to get away from farming. One, they don't know what farming is. Two, they feel farming does not give them enough returns. So we have started this school to first train them in what agriculture is, and then to prove to them that farming can be successful. So let's hope they will be graduating in December this year, and we hope something comes out of it. Thank you. I think I have taken up a lot of your time.
No, you haven't. It's fascinating, very nice. Well, Jain, I think you should respond because you sent me a couple of messages. Then I will ask Mr. Oberoi and then Mr. Somani.
I have to say, Mr. Ganguly, I was just riveted. I mean, I don't have words to express the amount of work you have done. I'm just blown away. I'm still absorbing it, and I would like to connect offline. I mean, it's just incredible. I mean, the breadth of it's absolutely incredible, and how many lives you have touched and changed. It just really hugely commendable. I just, really, I'm still absorbing all of it. But thank you for this presentation. It was fascinating, absolutely fascinating.
And I'm telling you, he'll be the first one to say that he's not alone. Mary has done a lot of work. His daughter has been doing recently, but Mary's contribution is also significant, as I have known from other people also.
Oh, not just Mary, Mary, of course, and she is. This organization is running because Mary is here. She has been holding the whole thing together.
Yeah.
I come up with ideas and do things, but it's actually Mary who is the manager of this whole thing. And it's not just Mary. We've had some spectacular people who have worked with us over the years, brilliant people from IIT Hawaii, IIT Madras, IIM Bangalore, and brilliant people have come here, worked for a few years, and then gone on and started their own stuff. So it's not just me, please. I am just a catalyst.
Sure.
And
the question would be, if I were to extend from what Jain was saying, how do you make 100 more such collectives across the country, not with you only enabling, mentoring, and facilitating? How can we do something like that? Is a question I will not ask you, because you represent a certain repository of experience and knowledge and insights. Germany, can you talk about how we can take a story like this? I mean, Bunker Roy comes from your state. Bunker has taken many of things that you have done in Thilonia. He has taken it to Africa. He's now working in East Africa. He's working in Namibia also, and so on. What can we do to take such powerful things and have it replicated, Jain?
Having known Bunker personally,
yeah,
a lot of squash with him. The guy's committed to what he does. It's a commitment. It's a commitment, mind and body, heart and soul. My compliments to you, Mr. Ganguly. I have been able to steal a picture of the last picture, which depicted all your addresses and all your details. I think it's absolutely amazing what you are doing. We can replicate these. At least I would love to replicate it. And my wife, I will implore her, someone from the family. We have some lands which are in areas where there's better rainfall than what you are getting. You're getting about 348. We get about 554, I remember. And I'm sure we can do it. And we have some lands lying where we, just not being utilized for that matter. And it will provide livelihood to the people around. And it's just a commitment. You just have to make up your mind. Fetch the things, take help from people like Mr. Ganguly. Third, Mr. Ganguly, I'm going to get in touch with you, and very soon, about 4 or 5 months, we are going to come out with a boutique hotel and with a health spa, a well-being regenerative health spa, where we would like to use, and our consultants from US would like to use products from Timbuktu. So I'll take down your telephone number, I'll get in touch with you, and I'll put you in touch with this lady who's US based, and she's running, she's got these spas in about 23 to 24 hotels, very leading hotels in the world. Let's work for this organization. And I'm sure, just a word of caution, I'm very, very sure with a person like Mr. Ganguly, the heads would remain on the shoulder. It's a very important thing, you see. The heads have to, our Dr. Jain, the man, his head was always on his shoulder. Yeah. Never here, never there.
Yeah. And, yes.
Amazing. You'll very soon hear from me, and I'd love to take this thing into my proposed well-being regenerating hotel, spa, and I'd like to put my family, etc. I'm amazed. I'm absolutely amazed. Thank you.
Lovely. Before I go to Mr. Somani, Payal, back to you. At one point, he mentioned something about how the second largest employer is handlooms. And you have been working with weavers, who have been in the business of weaving from Kabir's time, shall we say, right? So if you were to look east from Delhi, if Gemini is coming from west of Delhi, what would you want to do to take these inspiring models and replicate it elsewhere? I know to the east of Delhi is all the Doab of Yamuna and Ganga and all that, but there are other parts that you're working in. What would you? Any thoughts on that? On the weaving community itself?
Doctor, I really want to go back to your first question of how can this be replicated, and then why not in the north? I mean, why not? Why does it have to be limited only to one state? All of these are genuine problems as much in the rest of the country as they are in one state. And I do want Mr. Somani to speak a little bit here, because I know he does a lot of work beyond his, hugely successful business, but I know he does a lot of work beyond that. So I do want, my question to him would be, how can this be done in this region, UP, Haryana, Delhi, and thereabouts?
Somani sir, I will embarrass you now. Bablu Ganguly talked about how the net worth now between some, this many cooperatives is in the region of some 45-50 crores. In the last 1 year alone, SHIL, your Somani group has done about 1,600 crores. That is, like Payal says, you're a hugely successful enterprise, 60 years old. My question to you is, how do you take something as inspiring as what he is doing and forget size and numbers of that kind? That is, we don't want scale. We want replication of this. What do you think we should do, Somani sir?
Tomorrow, 11:30.
Go on. You have to unmute, please. You have to unmute, RK Somani sir. You have to unmute.
Yeah.
Yes.
We need people across India with this kind of passion. So we need to find out, like Dr. Jain found out, Gemini Sahib and others who are full of passion for green building. That is how we have to look at it. It's not easy to find, but there are people I know we will find. It's very, very important, and we must replicate what Dr. Ganguly has done. He's done a wonderful job in some 20 years. And look at
30 years, yeah.
30 years, and look at the changes brought about on all those 20,000 odd villages. This can be replicated in Haryana, where there are barren land, Rajasthan, where Gemini Sahib comes. I also am from Rajasthan, from a place near Pilani. It's all barren. That is where we can work together. And let me correct you, Dr. Hari. Not 1,600. This year we closed with 3,100. Next year, 4,500 crores.
God bless you. God bless. Right. You see that.
Every 2 years we have plant coming up.
Nice.
So
I think you should ask. You had a question. You had a question to ask Somani sir. You ask it your way, Payal.
I think he has answered to some extent, but first it's a matter of getting a small group of like-minded people, Doctor. I think that is number one. Number two, I mean, of course, my passion will take me more towards the textile and the weaving part that Mr. Ganguly spoke about. But I love the way they have integrated women, their livelihoods, people with special needs, organic food, farmers, animals. I mean, it's just such a beautiful integration, and they've addressed so many different issues beautifully under this Timbuktu Collective. And I think to me, it's a dream project. I mean, if I could find a few like-minded people, I may request Mr. Ganguly to advise us.
See, I'll put it like this to you, and whatever I'm going to say now is not to take away at all from what Timbuktu Collective has done in these 30 years. And I've been one of their, great followers for all these years, from at least from 2000 or so. And a lot of the people that Bablu knows about are friends of mine for 40 years. From 1981, I have known Sridhar. Your father also knew Sridhar. I had asked him to meet, and they both knew each other by it. Mike, for instance, now there is another one very close to where Bablu Ganguly is. It's called SEDS and it's run by another man called Joshua. They also know each other. They're also doing some good work. There is Samuha, which is working in the north of Karnataka. There is in Hoshangabad, some people working some very, very wonderful work on the east of Bhopal. Here in Hosur, for instance, there is this other one called Navadarshanam, which has been run by Anantu and others. These are all why Ravi Pragada is trying to do some other things, but not in the space that Bablu Ganguly is working or Timbuktu Collective is doing. So there is this parallel India. There is this phenomenally inspiring work, truly inspiring work. Gram Vikas, for instance, from Joe Meredith is also one of those things. What is this series of sessions about? And I'm so happy that Vijaya Meka instantly thought of, when I first asked him, he said, why don't we invite CK Ganguly, he said. I'm so glad he said that at that time. Why this is important is this urban India. People like leaders, eminent leaders like R.K. Somani or Jamie O'Brien, you, for instance, Payal, who's leading such, such wonderful things in the iconic things in the areas of fashion and with the endogeneity and these elements of traditional weaving designs and styles being part of that at the global level. You are all people who need to connect into his world. His world, like Somani Sab said, his world is one of true commitment. A commitment, he cannot do anything else in life. People like CK Ganguly cannot do anything else in life. They can only do what they're doing. But how do we take that? How do we learn from them? How do we create more districts? If we are today 640, 650 districts, can we have one Timbuktu Collective at least in some 150 districts across India? How do we do that? That is the scale we want. Not replication, but I mean, not scale in the size of, in the sense of larger numbers, but training and mentoring and facilitating this. Anyone who wants to speak on this, I'm looking to see if somebody can inspire some thoughts.
Excuse me.
Yes,
I beg to be excused right. Can I?
Yes, please.
Yeah, I be excused right now. I have another meeting and there are some people waiting. So thank
Wonderful.
you, Mr. Ganguly. It was excellent. I'm going to be in touch with you very soon. This is in fact, this is exactly what we are thinking of since yesterday, ever since this American participation has come in. I'll get back to you and thank you very much.
Wonderful. I'm so glad. I'm so glad you were present today.
And my dear colleague Hariharan HH, you're always at Jain. You'll remain that. Sorry, I have to leave. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you. But it's nice that he was here, and this is the thing. How do we bring more connects like this? Anyone else who wants to speak, please?
Yeah. Yes. Hariharan, I think a word of caution to all of us.
Yes.
Replication of this size is not an easy thing because you need so many Gangulys.
Yes, absolutely.
It is not only the money part that we are going to invest.
Correct.
The passion and commitment, she's sacrificing everything and going there, living there with them. And the another important factor is they are not academically, they're very, I think they're not academically strong. So teaching them and taking them with them, giving them confidence, giving them that whatever is needed support is not an easy thing. Because if you see the first image of Timbuktu in 1992, a barren land, and the today's image of a forest, I think a thick forest.
That's okay.
It is unimaginable. We saw so many acts, but I think this is unparalleled, whatever we heard so far.
Yeah, okay. Fair enough. All right. Now it's your turn. Bablu Ganguly, I didn't want you to speak. I thought I will ask all of them to offer you some insights. I am sure this is not a thought that has not crossed your mind over the last so many years of how such models can go to other places. What are your own thoughts and insights before I invite Usha Kinney to speak after you? Yeah.
Lots of people keep on asking this question from the time World Bank came into this whole development scene. How can this be scaled? This scaling is something that cannot happen.
Scaling is the wrong word. Replication is the word. Yeah.
People can replicate, people can be inspired, but every place, every geophysical location,
Correct. Is different.
has its own dynamics, whether it's environmental dynamics, political dynamics, caste, religion, blah, blah, blah. And each time we have to innovate, we have to create newer ways of doing things. But it's a paradigm shift in thinking. And if we are able to make that paradigm shift, and if we really want to do something, then, and we say, okay, this is what I am going to spend the rest of my life doing, only then it can happen. Because what you have seen in those slides is not just a techno fix. You know, this is building social capital. We have built social capital in this area for 43 years. We have worked with the poorest people. We have formed unions. You know, when I came first to this area, the wage rate was 5 rupees for men and 3 rupees for women. And we did wage struggles in those days, and we were able to increase the wages to about 25 rupees. And then we got the government to bring in the minimum wage idea into the whole thing. And now the minimum wage is at about 350 rupees, you know. But so the social capital, the building of the social capital is an extremely important thing. People think that they can sit in the cities, you know, I meet quite a few of these MSWs and others, you know, sit in Vijayawada or Visakhapatnam or in Bangalore and want to do rural development in the village.
I get that. No, we know the challenge from J.C. Kumarapa's time, 1928, when he came down to India after his stint in MIT and all that. We know the challenge. It can't be like, you know, you train somebody, he becomes a manager, he's paid a salary and he does it. It can't be. We know the problem, but I mean, I know many such places like yours, which has been enabled in the last 30, 40 years. And uncannily, they all happened in the 1990s. For some reason, I think this generation, your generation or my generation, somewhere we, you know, chose to fasten on to such values. It's 4:06. Now I shall have the privilege of inviting Usha Kinney. She has a very amazing story. She retired as director of the Doordarshan Kendra in Bangalore. And that was in 2019, before COVID. And one conversation of probably 45 minutes or so, and she said, yes, I want to do this. And at the beginning of this calendar year, she started what is called the World of Water Action Forum. And she is now registered. I don't want to steal the thunder from what she will want to offer. She's got up to about 104 or 105 crore liters of water, driven with only citizen collective action, no government, no supports. And that is the reason I said to myself that I must invite Usha Kinney to see how she can be the speaker, the distinguished lecturer in the series for the next month. Over to you, Usha. Can you say a few words, share a few words with us?
Sure.
You have some lovely people. Yes.
Yeah, but before I go on to WOW, I must say it was like a dream unfolding in front of my eyes. I mean, it is just so amazing. I have bought Timbuktu products. The logo kind of connected immediately. I said, oh, I've tried this one out, but I didn't know the story behind this. What a privilege it is for WOW to be, sharing the same platform as Timbuktu Collectives. I mean, I have no words to express what I just saw.
Wonderful.
Coming back to the WOW initiative, thank you, Dr. Hari and Payal Jain, the entire team at PJMT for including the WOW initiative as part of the distinguished lecture series of PJMT. As Dr. Hari just said, he introduced me to WOW, so it is entirely his brainchild and he's driving, he's mentoring me. I am just trying to do what I can. I mean, I've been here for a few months, but it's been an amazing learning. So WOW is a people's movement. It is a citizens collective action forum. So every opportunity like the one PJMT is giving us to speak about WOW is an opportunity to reach out to people. It also means getting us closer to our mission target of achieving a saving of 1,000 crore liters of water in Bangalore in 1 year. 1,000 crore liters, when we say, I mean, these were all just figures for me. I'm just beginning to learn what it all means. It is the demand on fresh water that we are talking about. The focus is on smart and efficient management of our water resources by implementing, I didn't realize that water solutions are so easily available, that they're not very expensive and they're crying out to be implemented. So that is what this whole initiative is all about. What I really kind of fell for, I would say, is that there is no compromise on your water related comforts. That is what really touched me. It was so easy then to kind of say, I can do it because I'm doing so much, and at the same time I am not uncomfortable or inconvenienced in any way. So what is WOW trying to do? We are trying to educate, to excite, and to empower water users to become a part of the water crisis. A solution to the water crisis, of which we are already a part. We are all part and parcel of that crisis now, but how do we get into the solution part of it? So that is what we are trying to do, to bring about positive action, to bring about positive change. How are we going about this?
I'm sure you'll explain that into your...
So these are the questions which we are going to be taking up in the next meeting. The team will be there to run you through that.
Usha Kini, I must tell you that, I just now, I think busy. Somani Saab is also the chairperson of the Water Skills Council, which is, there are some 17 of these missions, one is the Green Skills Mission, headed by another dear friend, from Bangalore. Somani Saab, he's busy. Okay, so I will get him to see that he's present next month.
Good.
To listen to you, to see what he can offer. His projects, in the last, I think, 4 or 5 years, he's decided by default, every fixture that his company offers has to be water efficient and under 5 liters per minute. He just doesn't produce the older ones. Somani Saab, no, are you there? Are you listening to us? Somani Saab, are you there?
So you have to unmute.
He has to unmute.
Somani, you have to unmute.
Somani Saab, no. You have to unmute. We can't hear you.
Sorry, sir, I've got 2 visitors to attend to.
I was only saying that
Thank you very much. Wonderful. Thank you.
So since you are also part of the water mission and you're the chairperson for it, I was telling Usha Kini that, the work that you are doing or the work that she is doing, somewhere has to sort of connect in just the same ways as we are saying that the inspiring work of one Timbuktu Collective has to be taken to other places. So the next month, around the same time, the last Saturday of the month, I will invite you also. Great privilege having you here, Mr. Somani, today. Because it is people like you who will inspire leadership, finally, while stories of the kind that Bablu Ganguly presented, or Usha Kini present, or what, our lady from Coimbatore, Vanita, presented, 2 months ago, they're all powerful stories. Last time we had Hegde, who was talking about the Western Ghats and who has worked in the Western Ghats from 1973. Before emergency and so on. So this whole distinguished lecture series is becoming very good. Some excellent stories that are coming out. And I'm hoping that, many green leaders will listen to some of these people, learn from them, and see if we are able to take it to other places. My final note is, the last word will, of course, be from Vijaya Sai as the host chapter. My big, sincere thanks to you, Vijaya Sai Meka, the chairperson of the IGBC chapter, Amravathi, for making this happen, for having instantly thought, you didn't even think, you said, can I get Mr. Ganguly? And I had I could not say anything but yes. Your last words, please, and we will close. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm also very happy actually to introduce Ganguly because I heard about her so many times, but this presentation is awesome. And it is definitely unbelievable. See, the figures you spoke is unbelievable for so many people who were in the business. See, running his business is different. Running those team and achieving those objectives or targets, I think is commendable. So on behalf of all our PJMT team and IGBC team, I wish to thank Mr. Ganguly for sparing his time. So one word of actually promise is that we will definitely spread this message to all our groups and see that Timbuktu will progress well in the years to come.
Wonderful.
And I also wish actually to thank the presence of our actually stalwart, Mr. Jain O'Brien, who actually spent his time to be part of this, and young, energetic A.K. Somani Saab. He is an inspiration to all of us. Though we skip some of our meetings earlier, but he is there every time, in time, will be there throughout the sessions. He is an inspiration to us. And special thanks to Hariharan for actually giving us this opportunity to IGBC Amravathi chapter. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's close. Have a great weekend. Thank you, Usha. Very special thanks to, of course, Bablu Ganguly for being here, and to the rest of you. Payal, I think you have left. It's fine. Yatin Malik, you know, you are one of those unsung champions. Without you, such programs can't happen. I know you do a lot of work, 12 hours, 14 hours of it. Thank you, and the rest of the team of Debarti, Debashish, and others for whatever you have done.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Yatin. Yeah. Thanks, Bablu, for being here. Thanks a lot. Wonderful to have all of you. Yeah. Bye.